Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video on balconies, patios, and porches. Oh my. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Design Beyond the Visual. I'm Heidi Smith, your decorating coach and energetic advisor for you, your home, and for your workplace spaces, where in today's video I am going to teach you some things that you may have not considered before. Getting out there in the season and planting out your porches and patios and balconies. And I realize a lot of those things have been put on hold right now because we're not able to get to the plant stores that we so love to venture out to. It's spring here in the US, and that is what we do here. We plant new because it's new beginnings. That's what spring is. So I apologize in advance. By the way, my internet is a little spotty, like a lot of people's internet these days, given the time that we are in. And I hope that the audio will come through at least, and you'll be able to get the message that I am delivering. And just quickly, I would like to share my love and support and comfort with all of us out there during this particular time, especially where we are still experiencing the COVID virus. And I know it's a scary time for a lot of us, so I just send you my very best, as I always like to say, good Vastu. So, but let's today talk about nature. Nature is uplifting, and it connects directly to our souls. By the way, I'm just hanging out in front of my altar today. I felt like I needed a little extra, juju. So just felt like mixing it up a little bit. So yeah, nature. It's so uplifting. And listen, I realize that a lot of us are shelter in place right now. And if at all possible, when you go out to get your groceries, or if it's the pharmacy that you're going to, if nothing else, be particularly mindful of the time that you're out, and listen to the bird song, listen to the the leaves are coming in on the trees now. Listen to the wind, blow the trees, and see the bees pollinating the flowers. I mean, just drink it up, right? Just drink it up. Restore your soul. You'll get a more benefit from your 30 minutes outside your home if you do it in a mindful way. Then you will just it's a task that has to be done. So I just a suggestion. All right. So basically what I'm talking about today then is it's about small spaces. Balconies are relatively small. Patios are typically, pretty small. Courtyards, if you will, porches, etc., etc. So it's even more important, in my opinion, to make better use of our spaces visually, and as well as energetically. So when we are planting when we're gathering plants or going to the plant store, now you're planning on going to the plant store, and it's good. I'm glad I caught you at this time. I'm glad I caught you before you ventured off to the plant store, because I really would like you to consider a couple of these points that I'm going to make. And that is, in a small space in particular, we want to be really mindful of what we're bringing to the space, because very quickly, you like this plant and that, and all you want it all, because it's just, everything looks so yummy and fresh and delicious, at the plant store. but we don't have room for it all. So be mindful of what you're choosing. Make sure that the flowers that you're choosing are flowers in colors that connect with each other, the flower colors that go together. For example, it would be difficult to mix an orange and a purple flower together and really, make it look good. I love wearing orange. Hello, today's orange. I don't particularly like using it in a garden because I just think it's a little limiting in terms of the colors. Yeah, you can put reds with orange. You can put, actually, this early spring at the botanical gardens, I did see, when we were still able to get out, the tulips that they had planted from the year before. They planted a cluster of orange and pink, I think just orange and pink tulips. And it was beautiful. It was really pretty. It's not something that I respond to in terms of gardening things, but I do like orange and pinks together in terms of fashion. I think that's fun. So yeah, hey, do it in the garden if that floats your boat. But just know that when you are using an orange colored flower, it can be a little tricky to find other things to go with it. Yes, you can certainly bring yellows into it because that has an orange hue to it. And you could bring white, that works for you, that works for you. That's great. I personally love to use the blues, blues being the purples, and I love pinks. I'm all about pink these days. I don't know where I got in this pink thing, but it started happening a few years ago, and man, I did not see that coming. In fact, I've got a pink wall here, and so I just find pinks very soothing, especially pinks that are pale and have a little, hint of blue in them. And I love to use them in flowers. I love to, receive or buy, pink flowers. So with the pinks, I love to mix purples, whites. You can certainly do that. With the pinks, you can mix red. Got a red bench back here with my red cushion, my meditation cushion. That works very well with pink walls. So, but put them together like on your cart or whatever at the plant place where you go to and just see if you're feeling, they go, stick them all together before you buy them. See if they work for you. But one of my favorite looks is if you really want something restful and has great cohesion, and that is to use the same color of flower throughout. Doesn't mean it has to be the same plant, because that's where you can get the variation. So maybe it's pink geraniums with some other kind of pink, is it Gerbera daisy or, well, you get the point. Just have some fun with that. That can be, so you're really looking at different textures with the same hue, and that's a fun way to do interiors as well, but it's a really fun way to do plantings. So make sure if you are living in a single family home and you're working off from a porch or a patio or a townhome, that you look at the color of your home, because that should, I don't like to use that word, but okay, I did it. That should influence the color of flowers that you choose. Not everything goes with the color, not every flower goes with the color of your house. There are some colors that look better. And, so consider that as you are planning, during this planning stage. Same is true. I live in a building, so I have a balcony. I consider the inside of my home, because I can see my balcony from the inside of my home. I want my plantings and my flowers to work with my interior furnishings. It's just, that's the cohesion, that you're really looking at. So again, we're just really applying some mindfulness before we, go and make the purchases around that. Okay, so this is my thing that I'm about ready to say. the planters or the pots that you choose. I feel do not, or shouldn't, there we go with the should. I think it's better to have them be quiet. In other words, so they're not competing with the flower or the plant that you're putting in them. There can only be one star of the show. It's either the plant or it's the pot, but it's not both. And it's certainly, one can enhance the other. It doesn't mean that whole composition can't look really stunning and attractive, but generally there's one eye-popping thing. And so if you've got a multicolored pot with a lot of design on it, I would recommend that you keep what you put in the pot in terms of the foliage quiet. That might be a case where I would do, a simple green dwarf shrub or something like that, and maybe just have some kind of light cascade greenery coming down off from the sides. But just keep the plantings quiet with the pot itself, because that's a pot that's kind of loud and noisy, right? And so let's have a juxtaposition of a nice quiet plant that, and so what I would do is, if you have several pots on your balcony or porch, again, try to make them all as close. You could do them in all white, for example, and you could have a whole bunch of different textures and styles of pots, but just make them all white. And then that really adds a lot of subtle interest, and doesn't come off as dull or boring. I know some people are just like, oh my God, I can't do that. That's just too that's just too boring. So that creates some more interest. And then, come in and, excuse me, in a spring here we have pollen. And then, add your floral plants or your green plants, what have you. In addition to that, like in either corner of your balcony, if you just had to do it and you're like, no, I want a crazy looking planter or crazy looking pot with some, design and color on it, I would stick the same kind of pot, for example, in opposite corners. 2, don't need 4, 2 is enough. And then plant that, and then everything else in between is, it's like that white pot, or it's a gray pot, or it's a black pot, whatever it is. So you could have 2 quote unquote special pots or planters if that's something that just you just had to have. I'm all right with that. I'm really okay with that. So, just something for you to consider during this time. And so before you get to the plant store, make your list. Stay focused, because boy, we can get distracted going to the plant store. Everything just looks so beautiful, and you want it all, but you only have so much room. And always remember, less is more, as opposed to more is more, because the more is more quickly gets cluttered. That is going to wreak havoc with your Vastu. Vastu is that energy of support and wellness that you want for the whole of your life, and everything is energy. So keep it in a plane that feels nurturing and restful, and just gives you so much joy and peace. And at the end of the day, you're like, nah, that does not resonate with me at all. More is my thing. That is you, and listen to you, and what works for you works for you. So I will be here next week. In the meantime, everyone, please stay well. Let me know in the comments below of how I can help you bring more beauty and balance to your interior spaces, to make them fully supportive and nurturing for you. And I do that through good Vastu. So you're watching Design Beyond the Visual. Please like, share, and subscribe should it planted that throughout the video. I'm new to this. I would really appreciate your support and help in getting this out there. Help support the channel. And if you do subscribe, hit the bell. That's the way it works. That's the way I understand it. And I would love to hear from you. All right, everyone. Please be well. And in the meantime, I wish you all good Vastu. Bye all.